Alright, so today I'm going to be comparing Bitcoin to the DXY. As you know, in general, the two are inversely correlated, meaning whatever the DXY does, most of the time Bitcoin is going to do the opposite. And so I want to take a look at Bitcoin and DXY, go through the higher time frames, look at market cipher, and just in general market structure. So starting off on the weekly for Bitcoin, we just got this pretty large move to the upside, and in general, we are sitting at resistance right now, and the weekly market cipher is potentially looking to top out here. The VWAP has been moving down, getting closer to the zero line. This momentum wave seems to be starting to clip off. It's turning over a little bit, so maybe in like 1 to 2 weeks we could see a red dot print here. Or if we get a really quick move down, that could happen sooner, but that just seems to be the trajectory that we're on. And the money flow has been increasing this move up. Right now, it seems to be curving off a little bit, maybe showing a slowing down of momentum and money flow here. And Bitcoin is sitting at macro resistance. It's sitting at the highs of this range that's been trading in. Now, if we look at DXY, DXY is potentially sitting at macro support right now. This is a bit more zoomed out than Bitcoin, but we got this large move up, and then over the last couple months, we've gotten this retracement here, and the DXY is potentially now sitting at a key support resistance flip. We've held this resistance right here since like 2015, and recently we broke above it. Now we are retesting it. And on market cipher B, things are potentially looking bullish here on the weekly. We got this trigger wave printing. This green dot is confirmed now because we opened a new weekly candle. The money flow has been coming down recently, but it is still relatively thick in the green. I could see this potentially turning around again if momentum starts coming to the upside. So weekly potentially looking a little bullish here, maybe looking to show a bottom here on the weekly, whereas Bitcoin may be looking to show a top. But I could also see both of these sort of flopping over. We could flop this bottom and just come down, print a red dot, continue this money flow to the downside, and we could do the kind of same thing here with Bitcoin. Maybe we print a red dot, but then just continue up here on the weekly and the money flow keeps trending up. But now looking at Bitcoin's 3-day time frame, the money flow does seem to be taking a pretty deep curve to the downside. The momentum wave is rounding out here. VWAP is putting in lower lows, and Bitcoin's 2-day is pretty similar. The momentum wave is curving to the downside, but money flow on the 2-day does look better. It's not coming down as much, which is interesting. The 3-day money flow looks a lot more bearish than the 2-day, but the VWAP is still making lower lows here, at least locally. We're kind of making higher lows if you look at that, but it does seem like the 2-day and the 3-day for Bitcoin have room to come down. Also, I could see a scenario where these start to turn around out of nowhere if we just start getting a big pump. It's a little uncertain, but looking at DXY's 3-day, it sort of backs up what I was seeing with Bitcoin. The DXY is looking slightly bullish here, I'd say, but also I could see this turning around to the bear side again, which would be bullish for Bitcoin. We did just print a bottom on this momentum wave. We had 2 green dots down here. No bullish divergence though, as we put in this last low. And the money flow did just cross back into the green. We dipped down into the red here. Not really too much I can gather from that because it could easily just come back down. So uncertain on the 3-day, I would say. And the 2-day for the DXY, we actually did get a bullish divergence as we made these lows. You can see this momentum wave made a higher low, but money flow made a lower low, and this money flow is looking more bearish on the 2-day, which is interesting. Pretty much the same thing we saw on Bitcoin, just inverse. And also on Bitcoin, we kind of did see this momentum wave diverge from price action. However, we didn't see any lower highs here. We didn't print any green dots and then red dots. So we kind of saw a divergence here. And on the daily, we did see these divergences. We did see lower highs with the momentum and momentum coming down as price was making higher highs. The money flow was not diverging from price, it doesn't seem, except for maybe right here. We did make a lower high with money flow right there, and we did make a higher high with price action, so a little money flow divergence on the daily there. And money flow is continuing to move down at this point, even though it's still very thick in the green. So a little bit more bearish on the daily, still kind of uncertain though, I would say. And the daily for the DXY is looking a bit more bullish, I would say. We did see these divergences as we came down to put in these lows. We even saw a slight divergence there with money flow as we made these last lower lows. We did just print this top-ish momentum wave. And if we sort of look at more local market structure for DXY, you can see that we did just find resistance on a pretty key level here. We rejected from this golden pocket and the lows of this previous range. As we were printing this red dot, we got this rejection, but we actually did just come down, potentially retest this area I was looking at, these previous highs. We got a little bounce from there. That isn't a fib level. Let me turn this off and let's pull some actual fibs, because we may have gotten a bounce off the 382. Yeah, not a perfect bounce, but we did come down below the 382 and then we popped back above it. We did retest these previous highs back here. So let's compare 4-hour time frames now. Bitcoin does potentially have a 4-hour bullish divergence right here. Money flow on the 4-hour though is looking pretty bearish. We did just make lower lows with this money flow, but we got that potential momentum divergence if we end up finding a bottom here. And even if we come lower and take out these lows, we still probably will be forming a 4-hour div. And I would say that overall direction on this 4-hour is still looking more bearish than bullish. Money flow and momentum are continuing downwards, even though we got this little sort of upwards move with the momentum. I'm not sure if that is going to be enough to sort of break this downward trend with momentum. We may just come up and print another momentum wave up like this before continuing down, something like that. But it's kind of hard to say this far in advance. We could end up printing some really bullish divs and then sort of breaking this downward trend. You know, if we come down, sweep these lows that I was looking at, and sort of get a quick move back up, then we could definitely see this, bearish trend reverse here a little bit, and maybe we can see this money flow get another turn to the upside. But it does definitely look more bearish at the moment, even with these divergences. I think there's definitely a chance that we get a move back into this range. I don't know if it's going to be a sustained one. You know, maybe we even come up to the highs and sweep the highs and continue printing bearish looking market cipher B. But yeah, I'd say overall 4-hour for Bitcoin looks more bearish than bullish. Now let's check out the DXY. So not too much to gather from this. We may be printing a trigger wave to this anchor wave is really all I can say about this 4-hour time frame. If we find a bottom here, this might be a nice trigger wave, and I would like to see this money flow continue to the upside. Let's see, are we still in a money flow uptrend? Yeah, not really, because we broke these lows. Money flow came down a little bit, but that isn't super important. You know, we could still get a push up with this money flow and see that keep growing. But, nothing that would make me super bullish about the dollar on this 4-hour. The only thing I could say is maybe we see this direction continue with the momentum and money flow. And we are at some support right now. We are getting a bounce, so potentially slightly bullish, but again, not super convincing. So this is kind of interesting. DXY and Bitcoin locally are sort of at similar spots. I mean, even though on the higher time frames they're sort of at inverse places, the DXY is at macro support, whereas Bitcoin is at macro resistance. On the 4 hour, they are both at local support. It's different support. DXY is retesting highs and Bitcoin is retesting lows. Yeah, I would say it is pretty likely that one of these two is going to lose this support here. And I think if DXY loses the support, then we see Bitcoin get a move back up into this range, maybe even making a move for the highs. If Bitcoin loses this support and sees a move down, then DXY can probably see a move back up maybe towards the highs. That's kind of what it's seeming like locally. And if I had to guess, I would say that at least on the 4 hour, it's seeming more likely that Bitcoin would lose support than DXY. And I think the higher time frames do kind of back that up with DXY looking more bullish on the higher time frames and Bitcoin looking more bearish. But even after comparing the two, I'd say it is still pretty uncertain. Really, either scenario here is possible. Bitcoin could still come up and take out the highs and then lose this range to the downside, and then maybe we can see DXY reverse. I think, honestly, Bitcoin could just keep on pumping up and we could see DXY lose this support still. Maybe we come down for a lower low somewhere. Maybe we end up working our way down to this golden pocket or something. But if I had to guess, I would probably lean more towards the bearish side for Bitcoin, just because the high time frame bearishness that we're seeing across almost all of the time frames. The weekly is beginning to look like it's topping out. These bearish signs that we've been seeing on like the hour through the daily time frame are now starting to bleed into the high time frames. So if I had to guess, I would probably say that the bearish case is more likely for Bitcoin and that we may see DXY try to reclaim this range here, but it's hard to say for certain. But anyways, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all in the next one.